So we'll get started today. Come to the front edge of your chair. So spread through your toes. You can lift all 10 toes up and spread them and feel the base of your foot grow wide side to side. And see if you can start to feel the inner arches lift a little bit as you start to extend the toes forward and press the heels down. So with your toes spread, your feet wider than what felt before, you're going to move the sitting bone, the flesh underneath your sitting bones out so you feel a little bit wider in your chair seat. You're going to bring your hands behind you on the chair. So with your toes still spread, your heels down, you're going to bring your fingertips down to kind of start to spread through the chest area. So bend your elbows back. Spread through the chest, feel the outer arm bones move back. And then from there, see if you can rise the sides of the trunk up. See if you can maintain the width of your foot, maintain the kind of sharpness of your seat, maintain the lift in the side of the body as you slowly bring your hands to meet at the center of the chest. Can you keep a width in the lower back region as you slowly start to quiet your eyes, quiet your elbows down next to you? Feel the soft vibration of the breath in and out. Notice the apex of the inhale, the apex of the exhale. And like you're observing a beautiful landscape, and you watch those points with more detail. You feel that in a mere observation of your breath, it starts to change and shift. And then see if you can start to let the breath feel wide, the way that you spread the base of your foot. Start to slowly imagine the breath creeping outwards to the sides of the body as it makes that now more of a feeling of an apex, of a wide, tall mountain. Gently release your hands down to the tops of the legs as you just sit here feeling the wide breath. Can you feel that even though the breath is moving vigorously inside the body, the skin on the face is soft, eyeballs feel like they can drop back to the back of the head, the jaw is soft, the back of the neck is also easy. How does the softening of the features of the face affect that wide, tall breath? And then slowly release that intentional big breath. Slowly start to come back to just kind of feeling that subtle breath. Slowly start to open your eyes, coming back to the room with your eyes and your gaze. Starting to let your hands come down next to you. Start to sharpen the blades of your fingertips by touching them against each other. As your toes are spread here, press down through the heels and start to poke downwards as you start to move your upper arms and shoulders backwards. So you're starting to sharpen also the elbow region. Breathe fully through the sides of the body. Exhale, turn the palms towards the sides of the room. As you start to slowly feel the whole arm turn into shoulder socket, sharpen the edges, blades of now the shoulder blades to see if you can bring the shoulder blades in the back to being more connected to each other in the inner shoulder blade region. Sharpen again out through the fingertips, so press your elbow further straight if you can. Exhale, start to elevate your arms next to you as you start to lift them to the horizon. See if you can poke the fingertips away once more and see if you can this time think about making the elbow tighter. Exhale, starting to lift the arms to a diagonal position, but see if you can let the inner shoulder release down, but not the fingertips, so fingertips are still sharp. Exhale, starting to bring the arms next to the ears. This time, inner shoulder really release down, but the fingertips are kind of have that purpose and direction upwards. Feel the sides of the trunk lift up. There's the invitation of the arms for the trunk to move upwards. Exhale, start to extend the arms down. Exhale, start to slowly feel every moment as the arms start to slowly come down. Breathe fully. Exhale, bring the arms down towards the tops of the knees. You're going to start to extend the left arm forward. Again, feeling that sharp blade of the hand together, the sharp elbow. Exhale, you're going to start to lift the left arm straight up. Again, this time you're going to toe heel your feet in together this time without letting your knees knock into each other so the knees have their own length. Can you lift the toes and spread the toes once more as you lift the left side of the body? Exhale this time, can you keep your toes lifted as you start to extend the trunk over to the right side? Can you feel that you're lengthening the left arm further away into the right as you lift the toes up, as you press the heels down and breathe fully? Exhale, come back to the center of the room. You're going to start to slowly bring the left arm down. Inhale, take a breath here. Exhale, turn the right arm, bring the right arm out. Exhale, turn the right palm towards the ceiling. Keeping the toes spread. Exhale, you're going to lift the right arm up. Extend the right side. Exhale, start to extend over towards the left. Breathe full. Carefully come back to your seat. Carefully let the toes now come down as you start to slowly bring the right arm down. Breathe fully here. You're going to interlock your hands together. You're going to bring it behind your head. You're going to spread the elbows wide. Feel your seat secure on the chair. Heels down. Exhale, you're going to start to turn the trunk to face the left side of the room. Feel the whole trunk turn, but the elbows stay wide. So the heels are narrow, they're pressing down. The seat is narrow, but your trunk feels broad and wide, just like your elbows. Exhale, turn the trunk back to the center, with the elbows wide. Watch if you started to tilt to one side or the other. Can you press both heels down evenly, both sitting bones down evenly? Exhale as you turn the trunk to face the right side of the room. Breathe fully here, elbows wide. Watch if you're leaning back or forward. Can you keep yourself vertical on your seat? Can you feel both sides of the trunk lifting? Exhale, turn the trunk back to the center. This time you're going to widen the stance of your legs so that they are back to their wider, maybe a little bit wider than shoulder width. Spread through the toes once more, press down the heels. Exhale, this time you're going to extend the trunk to face the left, to over to the left side with the elbows wide. So watch that the elbows don't start to close in and widen your upper back. Your upper back is still narrow. Good. Feel evenness in the chair seat. Exhale, coming back to the center. Again, your toes are wide. Breathe fully here. Exhale, you're going to extend over to the right side. Feel both sides of the trunk lift away from the hips. Breathe fully here. Watch if you're dipping down towards that right armpit. Can you keep the right armpit facing forward? Exhale, come back to a center seat. You're going to slowly let your arms release, but keep your arms back behind you. Can you start to pump your cactus arms further back? And let that inform the narrowing of the shoulder blades forward without letting it push your abdomen forward. So keep your abdomen soft and broad. So again, can you invite both things to happen in the same maybe surface area of your back? Can you invite the shoulder blades to narrow, but the lower back to be almost like it wants to move back, but just because it has this idea that everything might want to move forward. You're just wanting to move the upper back forward, but keeping the lower back soft. So you can keep pumping the arms slightly back, even if it's a little pump. It doesn't have to be like a big movement. It can just be a little bit back as you start to feel the shoulder blades come in a little bit more. Good. Exhale, bringing the hands down. You're going to start to extend the right leg forward. Can you press up fully through that right heel? The other right back of the leg start to open. Find your tall side of the trunk. Exhale, bringing that right leg down, extending the left leg out. Spreading through those left toes, pressing out through that left heel. Breathe fully here. Good. You're going to bring the foot down. One more time, you're going to press forward with that right leg. We're going to once again do the side to side in the rotation. You're going to extend this time your arms out to the sides of the room. You're going to turn the palms towards the ceiling and feel the whole arm turn the socket. Can you straighten the elbows a little bit more as you pull the fingertips away? Good. Exhale, you're going to start to extend. Can you keep your right heel pressing, left heel pressing as you start to extend the trunk towards the left side? Do you feel a lightness on that right hip? Can you intentionally press it down more as you press that right heel further away? Breathe fully. Exhale, press down through both heels as you come back to a seated position. Breathe fully here, keeping that right knee tight. Exhale, start to extend over towards that right side. Watch what side you're collapsing into. Is it the back, the hip? Is it the side of the chest? Is it the side of the waist, the hip? Is it that you are actually collapsing the knee up to the ceiling? Can you keep both heels down? Exhale, come back to the center of the room. You're going to bring your hands to the hips for a moment. Move the upper arms and shoulders back for another moment. Breathe fully here. Good. You're going to start to switch sides, right foot down. Inhale, exhale, left leg out. Inhale here. Exhale, arms out. Turn the palms to the ceiling. Exhale, start to extend over with the idea of the left heel pressing forward. You're going to extend to the right side with the idea of the left heel pressing forward. Exhale here. Inhale, extend. So exhale, you can soften a little bit so you can feel the emptying out the exhale. But then as you inhale, see if you can extend a little bit more, press down a little bit more evenly with the heels. Exhale, come back to the center. Breathe fully. You're going to extend over towards that left side. With, again, this time the intention of the right heel coming down, the right hip coming down. Breathe fully here. Watch if one arm is starting to relax. Can you extend both arms away, still further away? So you're extending over towards that left side. Exhale, come back to a seated position. Good. You're going to bring your hands down to the hips. Move the upper arms and shoulders back. This time with the upper arms and shoulders back, you're going to hold on to your hands behind you. You're going to press down through the left heel. You're going to this time bring your feet a little bit closer to each other. Slowly, you're going to start to straighten your arms back. Slowly start to straighten your arms back. Feel the grip of that upper back but not the kind of protrusion forward of the lower back. Feel the lower back is broad. Exhale, this time you're gonna walk your feet closer into the chair seat as you start to extend the trunk over the hips, the legs. Can you start to slowly lift your hips up? Maybe starting to slowly straighten your legs from here with the shoulders moving back. So watch the back of the knee is not kind of soft and bending forward. The back of the knee starts to open to the back of the room. Like the back of the knee wants to shoot the chair back. Exhale, slowly bend your knees, slowly come back to a chair seat. We'll do that one more time. So important thing is to keep the shoulder head not rounding forward as you come up. So see if you can keep the shoulder head rolling back as you straighten the legs. And it's like, it doesn't matter if this chair doesn't touch the knee, but the idea is that you're not just letting the leg just hang out. Can you actually extend more fully? So the shoulders move back, the legs move up, and the back of the knee opens. So we're gonna do that a couple of times. Yeah. So just wanted to see you, but I wanted you to make sure you saw the shape of the legs and the shape of the back. You can let go of that for a moment. Interlock your hands behind your back, switch the crossing of the fingers, whichever index finger is forward. You're gonna walk your feet a little bit closer to the chair seat. Upper arms, shoulders roll back. Exhale, extend the arms back. Carefully start to extend the trunk forward. So watch that lower back. So the lower back, especially when you're seated, wants to actually move and you're extending the trunk forward. The trunk and the lower back starts to slowly extend back as you slowly start to come up to a standing position. Keep your shoulders rolling back. Keep the legs lifted up, kneecaps lift up. As you just start to slowly find the position of your chest, extending forward. So the chest does extend forward as the leg lift up. Exhale carefully, you're gonna bend your knees and carefully come down to a seat. Good, now we're gonna work on lifting the arms up a little bit higher. So you can watch me first. So we're gonna do the same thing we just did, except we're gonna start to let the arms move higher. When I say that, I mean, I'm going to see if I can start to, with the legs straight, slowly start to bring the arm up and slowly start to bring the arm down. And then I can maybe even come lower, bring the arm up and bring the arm down. So that's what we're gonna do together. So you can cross your arms once more behind your back. So change the crossing of the arms once more. Spread through the toes. So watch if the lower back is starting to get sore. If it is, really focusing on the top of the buttock flesh moving down while the side of the trunk lifts up. So you don't want to, again, that lower back can be very loose, which is a good thing, but you just want to be careful that you're not moving solely from there. Spread through the toes, press the heels down, shoulders move back. Exhale, start to extend the trunk forward. Again, hips back, lower back broad. Exhale, press down as you slowly come up, keeping the shoulders back. Even here, even though you're extending the chest forward, you don't want to push the lower back to the floor. You want to keep your lower back wide, as if it's moving more in the direction of the upper buttocks. Exhale, start to slowly extend the arms up, carefully, and carefully start to bring the hand down. One more time, you're going to extend the arm up. And carefully, you're going to bring it down. See if you can re-straighten your legs a little bit more. Can you keep moving the shoulders back as the trunk extends forward? Can you maybe lower an inch or two or not? Stay where you are. Keep the kneecaps taut. Kneecaps are tight. Maybe you do one more with that change position of the chest. Arms lift up. Shoulders back. Carefully, arm comes down. Carefully, let the hands go. Touch where the chair seat is. And slowly come down to seated position. Good. So they have an opening in the back. You feel opening in the back of the legs. So we're going to keep going with the twists. So You're gonna start to bring your right leg forward. So come to the front edge of the chair so you can do that. You're going to start to bring your hands to be behind your head, elbows wide, pressing down through that to both heels. So watch if you're already leaning to one side, keep both sides of the chest wide, trunk long. You're going to start to turn the trunk to the left side of the room. Exhale, turn back the trunk to the center of the room. Turn back, breathe fully. Good. This time you're going to start to turn once more towards the left side. You're going to start to bring the right hand to the inside of that right leg. The right palm is facing the left knee. You're going to this time keep the left elbow wide as you slowly start to extend over towards the outside of that right leg. You're extending over to the right side of the right leg, but without letting your buttocks move off of the chair. Keep the buttocks moving back. Breathe fully. Exhale, come back to your chair seat. You're going to bring your right hand back to interlock. Exhale, you're going to turn the trunk back to the center. Let your hands go for a moment. Press down to the top of the hip crease so that you can start to feel yourself a little bit taller and wider. Good. So we're going to do that one more time. Interlock your hands. Spread to the elbows. Exhale, your abdomen turns to the left side. As you spread through the toes and the heels press down. Exhale, you're going to let your right hand release once more, the inside of the right leg. Good. This time you're going to slide so that you're going to start to extend the trunk beyond the outside of the right leg. Feel the right side grow tall so your head is not shrinking forward. Don't let your left hand push the back of your head. The left hand should feel like a pillow for the head to sleep on, in a way. And then slowly, can you extend your left arm behind you and slowly straighten the arm? So you're going to slowly straighten the arm back, the left arm. So the left arm straightens back like you're opening yourself towards the left side of the room. You got it. So you're just opening the right arm. You're just opening that. Both arms are open. Yeah. You can come back to facing me for a second. Okay. So I'll just demonstrate because you were turned to the side so you couldn't see. What I meant was that in a moment, you're going to start to extend that left arm back so that you are opening the arms towards, and the chest is facing the left side of the room with those right toes spread and the left heel down. So it's this arm that was behind your head before. And so watch, you're also not pressing the head down because the weight of the hand could either let yourself curve or it could just be actually a support for the head. So lean back slightly into that. It will help with that, because as you kind of compress in, the upper back starts to round. We want to think about ways the upper back can narrow. So it's this arm and the back arm. Great. So let's do that one more time to the left. Interlock your fingers. Can you switch the interlock of your fingers every time? Which index finger is forward? Take a full breath here. Exhale, start to turn the trunk to face the left knee. Good. You're going to start to release the right hand to the inside of that right knee. Good. You're going to keeping your head still in that hand. The same idea because it helps you lift the trunk, narrow the upper back. You're going to start to extend over towards the outside of that right leg with your head with your head into the hand. Carefully, you're going to release the left arm now back so that so it starts to extend, the arm starts to straighten back. Good, that's it. Breathe fully. Exhale, come back to a seat. You're still going to be facing the left side. You're going to now slide your right hand to the outside of that left knee. Good. This time, your left hand is also going to be behind your head. So it's just a different situation of the legs. You're going to slowly, this time still, extend the trunk towards the right side with your head leaning back to the hand. Good. So think about, can you let your chest lift up? Almost like you want to lean back a little bit. Carefully come up to a seat. This time you're going to bring your left hand up next to the ear and feel the sides of the trunk lift up. That right heel still presses forward. You're going to now draw yourself towards the right side with the left arm lifted. Can you see that the chest is still facing the left side of the room so that you're not turning the chest forward? You're keeping the chest side. Yes, that's it. Carefully come back to the center. Last thing we're going to do here, left hand behind you on the chair seat. Tent it up. Lift the side of the trunk. And slowly see if you can turn the trunk more to the left side. Maybe you can walk the left hand more to the right side of the chair seat. So you can bend the elbow back. As you slowly, progressively turn more of the abdomen to the left, turn more of the chest to the left, turn more of the shoulders to the left. As you keep the breath steady, the shoulders relaxed. Okay, carefully turn the trunk back for a moment, step the foot back. You're gonna widen your feet a little bit. Let's just invite a spreading in the back region, hands towards the top of the thighs. Belly not back and short, the belly extends forward, but just let yourself be supported here with your elbows down and your legs wide. As you breathe fully, just watch what sensation you're starting to feel in the back. If it's exclusive to one side or the other. Is there tiredness somewhere? Is there strain somewhere? Just notice. Carefully come back to a chair seat. Okay, so we're going to repeat the different interactions of the hands with the legs as we turn. You can extend the left leg out this time. Spread those left toes. Good. You're going to interlock your hands behind your head. You're going to widen the elbows with the left toes spread, the right heel down. You're going to just turn the trunk to face the right knee. Breathe fully here, elbows wide. Exhale, turn the trunk back to the center. So every time you have a chance to better the sides of the trunk lifting and the spread of the lower back and the narrowing of the upper back. Exhale, start to turn the trunk to face that right knee. You're going to bring the left hand to the inside of that left knee. The left hand releases. Again, with the right hand still behind your head, really feel like you are taking the weight of your head. So the chest is uplifted as you slowly start to extend the side of the trunk to the left side. So you're just extending towards the left. Good. That's it. Breathe fully here. So watch you're not pushing your head down. If you lean slightly more back into the hand as your right elbow moves back, you will start to feel that the upper back will be affected. Carefully come back to the center. So you are still turned to face your right leg. Exhale, you're going to bring your left hand to cross behind your head. See if you can turn a little bit more towards the right side with your breath steady. So turn the trunk, not the elbow. Keep the elbows wide. Elbows are wide to the sides of the room. Yes, wide, wide, wide. Carefully, you're going to now come back to the center. Take a breath here. Exhale, turn the trunk back to the right side of the room. You're going to release your left hand to the inside of the left knee. You're going to start to bend. While bend is not, you don't want to shorten. You want to extend the trunk towards the left side. As you lean your head back into the palm of the hand, breathe fully here. Feel both sides of the trunk move away from the hips. Carefully, you're going to extend that right arm behind you as it opens up. Good, that's it. Breathe fully here. You can keep looking your trunk to the right side of the room as your left toes spread. Good, this time you're going to bring that hand back to the head, the right hand. Lean the head back. Carefully, you're gonna come back to the center. You're gonna release now that left hand and carefully turn the trunk back to the center. Bring hands down on the hip crease. Feel your elbows wide, feel your breath steady. Good. You're gonna start to do that one more time. Interlock your hands, change the index finger. So even though we're in this position with the legs, now when you are starting to turn, you need to exert a little bit more with the heels. So can you press more forward with that left heel and the right heel comes down as you start to turn the trunk to the right side. You're gonna release your left hand to the inside of that left knee as you widen the right elbow. So let the right elbow move back. Don't lean already. We're not leaning just yet. So don't extend yourself already to the left. Keep your left side tall. Yes, you're gonna let your hands come back behind your head, widen the elbows. This time you're gonna let your left hand extend, cross the body to the outside. The left hand crosses to the outside of that right knee. Good. This time, can you start to slowly extend the trunk to the left outer knee area as the right elbow widens? Breathe fully. Lean into the palm of the hand. Carefully come back to seated position. You're gonna now extend the right arm up to the ceiling. Good. Can you open this armpit area a little bit more? Good, good. That's it. Exhale, you're gonna extend now in the direction of that left outer knee. So you're gonna extend the trunk. Good, and keep pulling the right arm over. Carefully, you're gonna come back down. Last one, we're gonna bring your fingertips to tent up behind your chair seat. Fingertips down. So really spread through both toes, sets of toes, and press down the heel. As you start to bend the right elbow back, as you slowly start to feel that right shoulder move back. So the right elbow, it's almost like you could bend it back so it reaches over to the left side of the room. And then with that, can you start to slowly turn the trunk more and more towards the right side with the bend of that right elbow, with the length of both sides of the trunk. So you feel, again, evenness in the heels, in its contact with the floor, evenness with the buttocks and the contact with the chair seat. As you turn the trunk, carefully bring your trunk to turn back. Good work. You're gonna spread your legs wide once more. You're gonna bring your hands down, forearms down to the top of the leg. Move your buttocks back slightly so you can start to extend the trunk forward. So the weight of the trunk still stays, there's still a forward action, but not a down. You don't want to think about a down action. This is a down action with the trunk. You want to feel, but you also don't want to feel this. So it's not that you're feeling that I'm pushing my lower back, or either way, I'm not spreading it to the chair seat. I'm not overarching it. And you feel the hips settle this way, down, as opposed to back, as opposed to under. Just want to feel it move down. Good. Carefully, you're going to come back to your chair. And then now you're going to start to widen the legs once more with your toes pointing out to the sides of the room. Good. So we're going to start to work on a twist with different legs. So you're going to heavy your kind of this L-shaped hands down as you lift the side of the trunk up. This time interlock your hands. Can you remember this heaviness of the hips as you start to interlock your hands and press forward with the palms and slowly start to lift the arms up. So the palms of the hands lift up. Your interlocked hands up, your elbows are lifted up. Good. Can you bring the knees to spread wide without pushing the lower back forward? You're going to turn the trunk to face that left knee. Keeping the left toes down, the heels down. Can you move the arms slightly behind your head? Exhale, you're going to turn the trunk back to the center. Exhale, bend the elbows. You're going to switch the crossing of the fingers. You're going to press forward. And you're going to lift your arms up once more. Evenness in your feet, knees move back. Exhale, keeping the arms where they are. Can you turn the trunk to face that right leg, right knee? Breathe fully. Carefully turn the trunk back. Knees wide to the sides. Exhale, you're going to bring your arms down. And you're going to bring your hands to the outsides of the knees. Breathe fully. With the knees going wide, so really keep them in the palms of the hands. You're going to start to extend the left arm out to the side. So the right hand is here still connected to the right outer knee. You're going to turn the left palm to the ceiling. You're going to start to slowly slide yourself towards the right side. You're going to slowly let your left arm come next to the ear. Slowly remember this feeling of the long left side as you slowly bring the arm to extend over, as you still keep the extension of the side body. Carefully, you're going to extend the left arm once more next to the ear. Can you still maintain this right knee moving back? So even though maybe your right forearm connected to the outside of that right knee, can you feel now? Exhale the length on both sides, even as you bring the left arm back to be parallel to the floor. Can you still maintain the extension to the side? One more time, you're going to lift the left arm next to the ear. Breathe fully here, relaxing the inner shoulders, knees back. Exhale, come up to seated position. So your left arm is now next to the ear. And you start to bend that left elbow. Can you lift the left elbow higher? But keep a broadness in the lower back. You're going to extend the left arm once more. You're going to start to bring the left arm to the outside of that left knee. Feel both knees move wide. Exhale, right arm out, right palm to the ceiling. Just keep it here at the horizon. You're going to start to slide the trunk to the left side. So when we slide, we still keep that left side tall. So imagine we had our two sets of hands behind our head. Can you keep your head leaning back slightly as you slowly start to bring your right arm next to the ear? Breathe fully here. Keep both knees wide, both heels down. Exhale, bring your arm back to the horizon, parallel to the floor, the right arm. But feel still both sides of the trunk lifted. Exhale, start to slowly bring the right arm next to the ear. Breathe fully. Exhale, slowly bring the arm down. One more time, you're going to extend up as you still stay here on the extension. Good. Carefully, you're going to bring both knees back, both heels down as you slowly come up to a seated position. Keep your right arm lifted. You're going to bend that right elbow. You're going to this time bring your left elbow as well behind your upper, your neck area as you move the knees wide. Can you separate your feet a little bit wider? If not, stay where you are. But feel that you're opening up. So instead of hiding your head behind your elbows, to the best of your ability, can you let your arms reach up, your elbows reach up a little bit higher as you move your knees wide, as you bring your elbows also closer to your head. You don't want to feel that there's a triangle of space between the ears and your elbow. Can you bring the elbows to point more forward than to the sides as they lift up? So it's a direction idea. Maybe it doesn't get there, that's okay, but you want to slowly bring it more narrow and tall. Good. Carefully release the arms down again to the sides of the knees. Good. This time you're going to start to turn the trunk to face the left knee. Can you turn just the belly and feel, so you can bring your hands in front of your belly. You can just let them be there. But can you feel that the weight of the hips are heavy? So their elbows are out of the way, but you're turning the trunk to face that left knee. Good. Can you bring now both hands behind you on the chair seat? Palms, if you can, the opening of the hand faces towards your buttock region. Your fingertips are tented down behind. Good. Can you move the upper arms and shoulders back as you press the heels down? Can you slowly bend the elbows further back without letting it pull your trunk in any certain way? It's just the upper back that starts to narrow and the inner shoulder releases down. Can you feel this action going with the upper back as you breathe fully? Can you now straighten the elbow as you start to extend the trunk forward? So again, you're going to press down to the fingertips as you slowly start to straighten the trunk forward. It does not have to move that far. Again, I'll show again. So you're just straightening the elbows. Can you keep both knees moving back? Can you keep the chest extending forward as the elbows move back? Slowly, elbows move back as you come up to a chair seat. And slowly, you're going to turn the trunk back to the center. Just toe heel your feet into close for a moment. So you let the inner leg get to release. Bring your hands behind you. Just feel your lower back, either with the backs of the hands or with the palms of the hands, either way. Can you still feel tall here? But can you feel that we did this before, the weight of your back on your hands? So your hands are at where your pants are, right? We talked about this on Friday. So can you feel that the weight and the fingertip side of the hand and also the heel side of the hand feels even? Or do you feel that one is kind of more light than the other? You just want to feel a settling to the sides of the back, not a settling back. But also, maybe if you are overdoing forward, you do need to settle the lower back a little bit further back. But always think about the length and the side of the body as you're doing this. Awareness, so that there's never a crunching down action. Okay, now we're going to move to the other side. You're going to widen your feet once more. So feel the appropriate distance of legs so you can keep the knees in line. We say knees back because of keeping it in line, trying to kind of spread the inner leg a little bit more and keep it more in line with the outer edge of the foot. Good. So now we're going to, again, lift the side of the body up, heaviness in the hips. You're going to turn the trunk. So just for a couple times, a loose turn. You're just going to exhale, turn to the right side. Take a breath here, and then exhale, turn once more back to the center. Can you keep both knees wide? And then again, with the next exhale, you're going to turn the trunk to the right. And then carefully, you're going to come back to the center. We're going to do that one more time. You're going to turn the trunk. This time, can you bring your left knee back? Your hands behind you on the chair seat. You're going to bend the elbows back. You're going to lift the side of the trunk up. You're going to slowly see, can you start to press the fingertips down as you straighten the arms to extend the trunk over towards the top of that right thigh. It doesn't have to move very close at all. But the idea is to still keep the integrity of the shape of the trunk. So it's just at a different angle, but yes, but keep moving the shoulders back. Carefully come back to a seated position. And once more, so your elbows are now bent. One more time, you're going to extend. So press the fingertips down as the elbows straighten, as you extend over towards the top of that right leg. If the arms are not comfortable like this, you can also release them so that the fingertips are poking back. But the arms down can help you move your upper arms and shoulders back and straighten from that position. Good. Carefully come back to a seated position. Carefully turn the trunk back forward. Good. Breathe fully here. Good. You're going to now toe heel your feet in together. You're going to walk your feet back. You're going to extend the trunk. Maybe you move forward of your seat a little bit. And we're going to just find this swinging action of the trunk and carefully come back to vertical seat. When you swing the trunk forward, draw the elbows back though, so the palms of the hands will reach back. Good. And then carefully, you're going to come back to a seat. We're going to do that one more time. This time, can you spread your toes, heels pressed down as you maybe hover your seat an inch or two? Good, that's it. Maybe you lower your seat, but you don't sit down fully. So working on the strength of the thighs, breathe fully here. One more time, you're going to just come to a seat. So it's a very gentle initiation, but all the actions of the body are happening. So you spread your toes, heels down, hips back. Shoulders back as you start to come up to a hovering seat. Good. Breathe fully. Press down to the heels. Can you slowly find your seat one more time? Good. Last time, you're going to, again, spread through the toes, press the heels down, hips down and back. You're going to see, can you extend your arms out to the sides? Can you start to just turn the trunk to face that left side? Exhale, turn the trunk back to the center. So the legs are still low. You're just going to turn the trunk to face that right side. Yes, that's it. Legs are steady. Good work. Exhale, turn the trunk back. Carefully press down to the heels. Come up to stand. Find your mountain pose. Spread the toes, heels down, legs lift. Side of the trunk lifts up. Feel the buttocks come forward. Good. This time you're going to come to the back of the chair. Good. So we're going to come to our modified downward facing dog. Trunk with our legs spread. You're going to step your left leg forward. You're going to step your right leg back. And watch if you are, can you be about a little bit further so that when you do start to move your arms down towards the side of the chair, you can actually feel that you can extend. So if it's easy for you to slide down the chair like this, you don't have to be very far from the chair. It depends on the situation of your chair. If you need to move the chair a little bit further away because you only have the top of the chair, the idea is that we want to move the trunk forward and the hips back with our legs separate. So you just want to just decide the proper distance for your arms. This is the direction of the pose. We're extending forward. So if you can do it close, if you have this kind of a chair, but if your chair is too high, you might need to move it a little bit away. Okay, the toes spread, heels down, press your legs up. You're going to bring your hands to the back of the chair. You're going to start to move your hips back as you lift your kneecaps up, as you spread the toes. And this time, can you start to first find the trunk extending forward? After the trunk extends forward, so the trunk is not shirking back, as you're not moving down from this position with the trunk. You're moving this way forward. And maybe the legs will resist a lot, so you can't go too far. But don't let the resistance of the legs be reactive in the trunk. So the resistance of the legs maybe are there, you work on it, but you don't let that kind of reverb up to the chest where you're shirking the chest. So keep lifting your legs up. Carefully, you're going to come up. Carefully soften that front leg. You're just going to switch legs this time. Your right leg steps forward. The left leg sits back. Good. That's it. Can you turn both hips to face forward? So again, you can keep the same distance because the arms are the same. You're going to see if you can move the hips back as the arms start to come forward. So if you need to, again, move the chair forward, you decide and move that forward. Again, feel that you're not just trying to see how low you can go, but it's more about how long can you spread sideways. So you want to start to feel that, eventually you can extend the trunk. It's almost like you can extend the trunk over. So what happens if you move your arms further away from you? Feel that the armpit starts to open there. You can slide your hands to the top of the chair too. So because you're not just relying on the chair. The chair is there as a support for you, but you can start to move the hips back as the arms extend more forward. And at any point you can lower that shape that you found. But if you haven't found that shape of the trunk, or if the legs are, calling out to you a lot, I would suggest you stay higher so you can work on those two elements. And maybe when you feel ready, you can always come down with the trunk extending forward. Carefully bend that right leg. Carefully. You're going to switch sides one more time. So walk your hands up if they're not up already. If you would like to try to move the chair seat further away this time, you can feel free to do so. If not, stay where it is. Left leg forward, right leg back. Maybe can you widen the stance of your legs a little bit more today? If not, let it be where it is. Hips facing the chair, spreading the toes, heels down and legs up. You're gonna bring the trunk forward. You're gonna slowly start to bring the hands down to the sides of the chair. If you can, maintain the trunk lifted. If you start to feel the trunk shirk back, again, come up higher, slide a little bit more ahead. So first find that opening. When we talk about the opening of the armpit, it also starts to coincide with the spreading of the upper back. So if the armpit is closing, a lot of times that communicates a kind of rounding action of the upper back. So see if you can extend the fingertips forward as the hips move back, as you feel those tall, straight legs. Breathe fully. And watch when the hips are veering to one side or the other. Keep both front of the hips moving, facing forward. Carefully walk yourself up. Carefully bend that left leg. You're going to switch sides. So again, you can decide, maybe this time you want to see what is it like if I'm further away. I step my right leg forward. I step my left foot back. So last side on this side. So with my hips facing forward, my hands come down. I can think first, what is it? And if I slide forward and open up my armpit, just slide forward and open up my armpit. My sliding forward can also just be the side of the chair. So my legs are straight and resisting, so they're not going forward with me. They're resisting back as I just think about the opening of my armpit. And from there, I can move my hips back and I can walk my hands further down if I still can keep my chest lifted. So I don't have to go so far either. If all I can stay is more vertical today, that's fine. But I want to start to think about how the arms and the legs actually help me extend my trunk. The legs move down in one direction and back as the arms move out and forward in another direction. Carefully walk the hands up. Carefully bend that right leg. Carefully, you're going to bring your feet in together. And you're going to find your mountain pose that we found in the beginning when we came up to stand. Spread your toes here. Press the heels down, lift the legs. Arms down next to you. Steady breaths. Feel that narrowness of that upper back. As the blades of the hands sharpen like in the beginning of class. The elbows tighten like in the beginning of class. So you can bring your arms really close to you to really stimulate them tent up on the chair seat when we start class. Feel that narrowing of the upper back start to help you spread the chest. And can you feel evenness on both feet? The front of the foot has weight, back of the foot, the heel has weight. Level your chin so you're not tucking your chin in out of effort or exertion, or you're not tilting your head up just due to habit. And you bring your chin to be parallel to the floor as those actions still maintain. The spread of the toes, the heels down, the lift of the knees, the buttocks forward slightly as the legs remain straight and lifted. The blades of the hands together, the elbows tight, arms next to your body as you lift the chest. Good, release that now. So come to your chair. If you have a cushion this time, please bring it. If you don't have a cushion, but you have a floor, if you can and you would like to, and you have a wall, you can always sit near the wall and have that be your cushion. Sometimes it's nice to just have that support, but a cushion is fine too. We worked a lot on twists today and a lot on how we still maintain the back to be vertical. So a lot of times that could just tap into some of the habits that we have with our lower back and pushing that. So you just want to also give yourself a moment to rest now. So if you have a cushion, you can, just let yourself be supported there. If it's more comfortable for you, you can start to extend your legs out a little bit further away from you. And start to quiet your eyes. Maybe you start to pick a point in front of you and blur your vision out from there. Or maybe you start to kind of imagine that the lights are turning out from a periphery vision inwards so that you don't have to close your eyes fully. You can still imagine the softening of your eyes. So you are sitting on your support too, so that will also be somewhere for you to anchor. If you want to take your glasses off, you can take your glasses off now as well. So feel that easefulness in the sight, your eyes, and let that now see if that can inform the softness of your cheeks, your mouth. Feel the opening of that tongue region is soft. And then just start to observe how the back feels against the cushion. Can it settle there? Start to notice how you're seated on the chair. Can you really let yourself be supported by that chair? Or are you kind of lifting yourself away? Can you really settle there? Give yourself this time, this permission, this opportunity, this experience. Start to shine light on your breath. Like if you're a marine biologist and you kind of got to the depths of the sea and you turned on your flashlight. So, it was always there. Whatever was there, your breath is always there. Start to observe it. Start to feel the vibration, the slow in and out. Start to observe how it affects the abdomen, the lower back, the sides of the body. If you find the breath is lower for you today. If you feel the breath is a little bit higher in the chest, notice how it affects your shoulders, maybe your upper back, maybe the actual opening of the chest. Start to see if you can find that inner channel, inner center channel, kind of like shining from the top of the head down, the center of the head, down the neck, and the trunk. See if you can start to gather the breath to move up that channel with your in-breath slowly. And see if you can still keep the softness of your eyes, your face, even when you do it. So wherever you felt the breath before, can you slowly start to direct it up and long? So watch how that affects the exhale. When you inhale and you feel the kind of long channel of breath. So you don't necessarily have to deepen your breath in any way, but maybe naturally thinking about a long, tall, narrow center channel breath will start to invite some longer and fuller inhales. But that's not your focus. Focus is just the shape. You make it more in the center of the body. And then let go of that for a couple of breaths. So let the breath do what it does so well. And just observe it now. And now see if you can start to invite the breath more to move wide. So you start to think about how does the inhale gather the breath in the center? And you start to invite the breath now to gather wide. Like it's a dot in the center of the body and starts to move out and spread to the side of the trunk before it just starts to slowly move back to the center and release. Can you start to invite the inhales to move wide? So don't push the breath. Just breathe when you need to breathe and exhale when you need to exhale. So even though it doesn't move fully out to the sides of the room, can you start to invite there that initiation, that intention? Maybe as you're more comfortable with that width or the direction of the width, you can start to feel the breath does become bigger. And now, can you let that kind of in breath, the wide in breath, kind of invite a sensation of action in the body? So you're slowly, it's almost like you're revving up. You can start to slowly bring your feet down to the floor in front of you. So maybe your knees bend a little bit more. And then you feel that kind of wide breath. And then maybe you can slowly just carefully move in front of your chair. You don't have to fully move off the cushion if you like to stay there, but an invitation to move forward. Hands settle on the tops of the legs. But still, can you keep the face soft? So if the senses are quiet, there's a way maybe for the anticipation of what's next to ease in, to soften, because you can focus fully on that breath. And then slowly see if you can just return the breath to, well, your relationship with the breath to more of an observational state. And just noticing how you feel now. If there are new parts of the body you found your breath traveling through today, or just a different kind of pattern of breath. Maybe you haven't experienced in a while, or maybe just from last class. Exhale, bringing your hands to face up, palms of the hands face up. Lifting your chest slightly as you bow your chin down towards it. Settling your thoughts. Inviting the mind, body, heart unity. Knowing that this is a moment you can always take to regather, reinvigorate. Slowly, when you feel ready to, you can bring your head back up. You can slowly start to open your eyes if they were closed. Coming back to the room, to the space. And thank you all very much for being here today.